The fight over the abortion pill mifepristone continues. Oral arguments in an appeals court begin today, but we are still far from any firm decision.
Senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott caught up with Congresswoman Sara Jacobs this week to ask her about the ongoing debate for women's reproductive rights in America and what legislation she's working on to protect them. Take a look.
When I heard about the Dobbs decision coming down that Friday morning, I was literally started shaking with anger. It was very visceral for me. It felt very personal. I started getting so many phone calls and text messages from my friends, my peers, my constituents who were all incredibly angry about this decision. And in particular, were asking what they needed to do to protect themselves.
Why do you feel like your bill is necessary now?
As the Federal Court of Appeals starts to hear arguments in the mifepristone case, I think it has the potential to be even more impactful than the Dobbs decision in many ways. And I often say that the Dobbs decision wasn't only about abortion, it was fundamentally a decision about privacy, because how these states are going to actually enforce the laws that they're putting in place is going to impact everybody's privacy. So this bill, I introduced the My Body, My Data Act. What it does is it creates a national standard so that companies can only collect and retain what is strictly necessary to provide the service you're asking of them. For instance, if they're a period tracking app, they can't also collect location data. Companies cannot sell or share that data. You can ask for it to be deleted at any time, and you have a right to sue if you believe your data is being misused. We know that this data can be very vulnerable, whether you're searching online for medication abortion, for where an abortion clinic could be, whether you're tracking your period or fertility information, whether you're using an app-based transportation service, your location data. All of this is vulnerable right now, and we know that states are going to try and use this to prosecute people who are seeking abortions.
This is such a hotly contested issue. What is your message to your colleagues across the aisle?
My message is very clear. It's this: whether or not you believe in people should have access to abortion, whatever you think about the issue of abortion, I think we can all agree, and the majority of Americans agree, that government should not be using your personal, private, reproductive health data to prosecute a crime against you.
It is a hot topic, and Rachel Scott is with us right now. Always good to see you, my friend.
See you.
So how likely is it that Congresswoman Jacobs will get this bill passed, especially in a climate where Congress is so divided?
Yeah, Congresswoman Jacobs will tell you that she knows that this is an uphill battle, right? She does have support among Democrats in the Senate, but there are a lot of Republicans on Capitol Hill that want to further restrict access to abortion. But she says this is less about abortion rights and more also about privacy concerns for all Americans. And she also says the conversations around this needs to change. It's not a secret here that a lot of members of Congress are older. She's in her early 30s. So she says that she's had to, quite frankly, just tell a lot of them that, yes, there are period tracking apps, and yes, women are using it, and yes, their privacy can now be at risk.
You've traveled all over the country covering this story. The abortion rules are different in every state. So what does this mean right now for the abortion pill?
Yeah, so oral arguments are going to begin in this appeals court today. Right now, mifepristone does remain widely available. This is the pill used in more than half of abortions in the U.S., but that could change depending on this ruling. There's so much at stake here. And the landscape around abortion rights has changed significantly. We have seen more than a dozen states restrict access to abortion. The latest one was just late last night in North Carolina, moving forward with a ban on abortion at 12 weeks into a woman's pregnancy. And so much is on the line here in this ruling in particular.
Let's talk about the debt ceiling. Are the two sides any closer to making a deal?
Well, they're talking, which was a lot more than they've been doing the last several weeks, right? So President Biden, in a sign of just how urgent this issue is, he's cutting that foreign trip short. He's going to come back on Sunday. They are resuming these negotiations. They're moving in the right direction. Still no deal. But of course, why this matters, troops could go unpaid. Social Security payments could stop. We could see an estimated 8 million people lose their jobs if Congress doesn't act, but we're hopefully not going to get to that point.
All right, senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott, always good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you. Thanks, guys.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.